Hey guys, it's time for another easy sub 3 guide. Before I get started, I do like to remind everybody that I do stream on Twitch and we'll be going live as this video goes live. If you guys need help on your sub 3, come join us in the stream. Links are in the description. This week's trial is Dreadfrost Boreus. His modifiers are Weak Spot, Lightning Stars, Electrify, and Bombers. Weak Spot makes every single Boreus part more durable except for the single part that the weak spot is on. And for the spot that the weak spot is on, you do extra damage to that part, as well as when you break the weak spot, you will send them into an electric proc. This is very important to our strategy, and I'll explain it more later inside the fight, but this is actually one of the most important modifiers to keep your eye on this week. Lightning Stars are little crystals that spawn on the ground, and if you don't pop them, they will explode for damage, but if you do pop them, they'll actually give you a little bit of damage buff. As long as you're using Ping or Lantern, these shouldn't be too much of a worry. Electrify applies shock status when you get hit by Boreus. This should not be a worry at all. And finally, Bombers. This is actually a great modifier for us because it allows us to delay Boreus's ice shield. Each time a bomber explodes, it will extend the duration that it takes for Boreus to go into his ice shield and give him a little stagger. This is extremely important for our strategy once again. I'll explain a little bit more once we get into the fight. Let's take a look at our build. We're using the Torgue Legendary Strikers, and they're bonded to the Hellion Strikers. And we're also using Adamant Bolt to make use of the weak spot. As the clap kind of spreads its damage around, whereas the bolt does focus damage, this really allows us to make use of the weak spot modifier. Use the gear required for the build. We're using the Ping or Lanterns to take care of the stars. The perks for this build are 6 Catalyst, 6 Cunning, 6 Overpower, 6 Rage, 3 Berserker, 3 Discipline, 3 Toughness, and 3 Wild Frenzy. The only really surprising thing about this build is that the only defensive cell I have in here is 3 Toughness. The reason I didn't go with Parasitic or Iceborne is because that once Boreus goes into his ice shield, you won't be able to lifesteal off of him, so that cell becomes pretty dead. I wanted just a little bit of HP so you could maybe survive more than 1 or 2 hits so that you can potion up whenever that happens. So that's why the toughness is in here. If you want to go with Parasitic or if you want to drop a Berserker into this cell, that's totally fine. But this is the build I used. Moving on to the fight, we're going to go right in and potion right up. As we're going into the fight, we're just going to run up to him and start our combos. As you can see, he actually charges us, and so I actually have to dodge right away and start my combos. But no big deal. Here we have the stars, and we actually don't have a Pinger Lantern ready, so we're going to dodge them. And you can see that our weak spot is on his right leg. No, I'm sorry, his left leg. And we're going to want to focus this down. Immediately popped on that. That's just the power of the laser right there. And now we're looking for a part break to delay his ice form, but we just don't get it. As you can see, actually, right after he gets out of his ice form, we break that part almost immediately. That's how close we were. We didn't have any bombers either spawn, so we didn't get any delay on his ice form at all, which is kind of bad for us. But you know what? We take what we get. So we're just going to rebuff off these minions, wait for Boreus to come back. Here he hits us, and so we're actually gonna have to hit him to get off Electrify, and then we can heal up. Now we're going back in, going to try to get our Karma Breaker on. There goes our crit pot, so we're actually going to want to rebuff that up. There's once again the stars, and once again we don't have Pinger Lantern because surprise surprise, once he's in ice form you don't get any charge for your lanterns. This also is true for chain blades. You don't get any charge for your special and chain blades, so that's kind of bad for chain blades as well. We actually break his ice form here with that, so that's really good for us. And there's the part break, so you see how close we were. His weak spot's now on his head, which is a little bit hard to hit. It's actually one of the worst spots to get a weak spot on. But the great thing about laser is you can aim it and boom, 19k, big damage. And we're just going to focus that head again, looking for that part break. Easy peasy, part break, and then dead. So it's a pretty difficult week this week with all the RNG. Hope you guys do well. Good luck this week, guys. See you guys next time.